Have you ever presented airtight evidence in an argument only for the other person to suddenly change the meaning of their words so they can't be proven wrong? There is a formal name for this trap. In the book Attacking Faulty Reasoning, it is called the question-begging definition fallacy. It is a recognized structural flaw in how we build arguments. To understand how it works, we have to look at the two types of claims people make. First is an empirical claim. This is a testable observation about how the real world actually operates. The second type is a definitional claim. This is an agreed-upon rule for what a specific word or label means, usually based on standard usage or a dictionary. The fallacy happens when an arguer sneaks a highly questionable, made-up definition into the real-world category. They disguise their personal rule as an empirical fact to avoid dealing with evidence. When the definition itself is rigged, real-world facts stop mattering. The debate shifts away from evidence because the arguer has redefined the rules to ensure they can't lose. Let's look at how this operates in a common conversation. Imagine someone claims that true love never ends in divorce or separation. You might counter that claim by bringing up your aunt and uncle, who loved each other deeply for years, but eventually did get a divorce. Instead of reconsidering their position, the arguer will often reject your evidence by declaring that because the couple divorced, it wasn't true love to begin with. In this flowchart, the word true functions as an impenetrable shield. By redefining love to automatically exclude any possibility of divorce, the arguer creates a circular logic loop that bounces the counter-evidence away, making the claim immune to reality. We see this identical pattern in other debates. Someone might claim that Christians don't drink alcohol. When presented with evidence of drinking Christians, they dismiss those people as not being real Christians. The logic loop blocking the counter-evidence works exactly the same way. This pattern often relies on specific modifiers like true, real, or genuine. These words act as gatekeepers, allowing the arguer to disqualify any evidence that doesn't fit their narrow definition. Using these modifiers to deflect counter-evidence abandons factual reality in favor of a game of semantics. Let's test this framework on a political scenario. Imagine a popular politician officially switches from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party. Immediately, critics argue that the politician obviously wasn't a true blue Republican, or he wouldn't have switched. Take a moment and pause the video. Try to identify two things here: the empirical fact being ignored and the definitional trick being played. Here is the first answer. The empirical, testable fact is the real-world action the politician took. He actually switched parties. And the second answer, the definitional trick relies on the phrase true blue. The critics are defining a Republican exclusively as someone who would never leave the party. Recognizing this split saves you from wasting your time. There is no point trying to prove facts to someone who is only arguing about definitions. To defeat this fallacy in real time, you need a strategy that forces the opponent to admit they are arguing over a definition rather than a fact. Step 1 is the call-out. Ask your opponent directly if their claim is based on real-world observation, or if they are simply defining a word. Step 2 is the evidence test. Ask them what specific evidence could conceivably prove their claim wrong. If they say nothing can prove them wrong, their argument is structurally flawed. Step 3 is the dictionary defense. If they admit it is a definition, offer a more appropriate definition based on common usage or a literal dictionary to reset the argument. Let's recap. The question-begging definition disguises rules as facts. Watch out for gatekeeper modifiers like true, real, and genuine, and always deploy the 3-step counter. Call it out, test the evidence, and reference the dictionary. Strong, fallacy-free arguments have to survive in the real world of evidence. They don't get to hide in the artificial safety of a made-up dictionary.